Test. 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 Alright. I don't get... I'm confused. Confused. Let's just make sure this is fucking going okay. Confused. Let's just make sure this is fucking going okay. Confused. Let's just make sure this is fucking going okay. Confused. Test fused. Just make sure this is fucking going okay. Confused. Test fused. Just make sure this is fucking... I think it's okay. Anyway. I just want this to work. So, this guy's a Trump guy. This fucks everything up. Does not. Okay, good. Alright. So anyway, actually shit, I need to record, don't I? Welcome back. Today, well, not so long ago, we did a reaction to this Jackass's video, which I don't even see on here, but it was a while ago. But yeah, basically, he's a fucking idiot. Or well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I think what he's doing is smart. He's leeching off of the brain dead half of our population. And I don't know, I figure we just react to some of his content. Because, I don't know, it seems like a lot of gotchas. This is his newest. I want to see what his most popular are. Got some trans stuff. This bitch, I hate her as well. I guess we'll work from the most popular and kind of just go down and see what he has to show us. I'm just paranoid about the music to show us. I'm just paranoid about the... Yeah, why is it so cool? Music to show us. I'm just paranoid about the... Yeah, why is it so cool? Music to show us. I hate this microphone. I'm just paranoid about the... Yeah, why is it so technical difficulties, and we'll hop back into it. I hate this microphone. I'm just paranoid about the... Alright, son of a bitch. Yeah, why is it so technical difficulties, and we'll hop back into it. I'm just too quiet. And we'll hop back into it. I'm just too quiet. Alright. This fucking mic. I want to see if I can change my, hello. Hello. Oh. Is that better? Hello. Oh. Is that better? Hello. Oh. Is that better? Oh. Is that better? Test. Oh. Is that better? Test. Alright, I think this is a mistake. Let's try that. Oh. Is that better? No. Test. No. Alright. Oh my fucking god. The loops. The fucking loops. Let's stop recording. Test. Test. Jesus. Curious. I wonder why. Jesus. All right. Yep. Yep. I do fucking hate this shit. I wonder if it's my settings. Hmm. Try that. Alrighty. Test. Hmm. Let's try. Let's try. Sounds better. How about this? How about this? Pretty similar. Oh, it's ass. Or maybe. So, cancers this is. Cancer. Alright. How about that? Okay. We're gonna try this. I wonder if I just get closer. That seemed to help. Alright. I'm satisfied. I'm muting you. We're recording. And alright, fun. So, what I meant to discuss was this individual. We just reacted to a video of a very irate mom flip out in the classroom at a pride flag being put up over a map in a history class, apparently. And the only context I really gleaned from it was this, but this jackass seemed to think that that was an intelligent thing to do. So I figured we could check out some of his shit. Now he's got a lot of shit on here. Lots of trans stuff too. So he's a fucking bigot. But I figured we could go to some of his most popular stuff. Holy shit. He's got videos too, huh? Maybe I should watch some of his videos as well. But he seems like a prankster asshole kind of person. Black History Month. Alright, we'll stay compartmentalized. Maybe we can get to some of that shit later. So why don't we start with woke student gets owned by teacher. Okay. Alright, to be fair, I mean, I don't know how woke this person is, but maybe she's combating, like, female oppression or something along those lines. I'm not really sure, but, I mean, you should probably not wear that to school. I mean, I get if you want to protest on the sidelines, but, like, come on. So I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that's too bad at all. Next one. This is the one we watch, so we're not going to react to that one. But, it's this slightly twisted female person. I hate this person. She's so annoying. Alright, this motherfucker is starting to piss me off. Okay, this fucking lady is extremely hateful of trans people. Extremely. I'm sure she'd deny it, but holy fuck. She's completely ignorant to the science, and she doesn't care. And she keeps calling them freak shows, which is not cool at all. But you know, it's okay. Bigotry. We'll deal with it another day. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she said a lot in that video, but yeah. The whole trans people are creeps and they want to watch women get undressed and they go through all this work to socially conform, and it's a little. It doesn't happen. Like, nobody's getting raped in bathrooms or anything like that. It's very just turfy, if that makes sense. So, but hey, if you have data to show me otherwise, that's fine. But yeah, she doesn't care, and neither do most conservatives. So anyway, let's see what else. See what else they have. Well, college student gets owned on women's rights. Now, to be fair, I want to specify. College students say some dumb shit sometimes. I was a college student. I still say dumb shit sometimes. But, yeah, I don't know. This seems like one of those gotcha things, so we'll check it out. Okay. I already see where this is going to go, but okay, we'll wait for the... Alright. Now, I don't know what the full clip was like, but you probably had to come back. But you know, these just like to cut things off, and the left does it too. I'm not saying anything, but all right. There's a massive difference. I mean, I feel like one, he's comparing abortion to Holocaust type shit, which I probably would have made that argument as well. But I don't think that's at all a fair characterization. Abortion, it's one of those weird kind of philosophical arguments that people just... It depends how you feel, I guess. I guess if I had to synopsize the whole thing, it's mostly just like, if you prefer deontology and you have me or kind of hard, fast principles in your moral compass, then it doesn't really... It makes sense to be anti-abortion. But I think at the end of the day, if you care more about pragmatism and you acknowledge the nuance in life, I think it's pretty fair to say, economically speaking and pragmatically speaking and freedom wise, it just kind of makes sense to let them do their thing and leave it up to the people who are affected by the abortion. I think men should have a say, but I also feel like a lot of men are fucking clueless to the shit women have to go through. And there's men and women on both sides of the issue, so it's not like... I think everybody should have things to say. But, you know, at the same time, like, a lot of... For ages, men have been just legislating shit for women that they have no understanding about of what it's like to go through. And I mean, they would used to just like kind of pass laws and shit without actually consulting women or talking to them. So I can understand why people would feel that way, but I mean, that's the time I still think you should have a right to talk about abortion. But the problem is, like, I mean, so many conservative influencers, they just kind of end up, or just anybody really, they just chuck so much normative baggage into their statements, and you can't really get to a useful dialogue of starting from ground zero and kind of working your way up to, all right, is this a life? Is this not a life? What's the okay point? Where do we draw lines? Where do we not accept this? What should we incentivize? What should be de-incentivized? You know, if you start off with you're holocausting babies, you're already chucking so much normative baggage in. It was kind of like, I had a commenter who would just say that the entirety of critical race theory was racist, and he would just keep like reasserting that view in different words. But they wouldn't be like fundamental words. They'd be very charged words that pack a lot of connotation into it. Like he would call it chauvinistic. It's like, oh, well, that is a very surfacey word, and it's very circular to just assert that over and over again. And it's not fair to anybody when you're having that conversation. I think a lot of liberals get frustrated when they have conversations and they're like, it's a life. But no, I was the same way, so I can't really bitch too much. But I think it's one of those topics, if you can just put aside your emotion, it's a really interesting argument, and you should go through it. It's fun. Make sure that's not too loud. Say something. Why is it so quiet? I don't fucking get it. Sucks. I'd shout, but it's like the middle of the night here. Alright, anyway. I wonder if I could just, for now, until I fix it, just kind of up right here. Anyway. So, okay. That's just from the clip. I'm not acknowledging all the context and everything. So, let's go back. So yeah, okay. So we're going down here. Woke liberal owned by their own logic. See, a lot of these are very gotcha questions, and there's nothing, like, I think they're fun, because it's like, well, let me differentiate between my views. Some of them are trickier, some are not, but let's see what they have here. And Alright, that was just boring. I guess the idea was they used the, which, you know, it's a common gotcha, like, oh, you're gonna say we should respect pronouns, well, here's mine, and then they just try to be inflammatory with it. That does nothing at all to help the trans movement in the slightest. And it burns more bridges than it, you know, helps. But I think people who are being really condescending about pronouns, it doesn't help either. But yeah, you know, you should respect pronouns. Like, the science shows that helps people, because, like, transgender people, when they're trying to transition, it's their biggest struggle is their identity. And when you do things like try to say, oh, you want to be an attack helicopter, you know, it doesn't help. And actually, when people are consistently doing things like this and saying, oh, it doesn't matter, you're still a man. Yeah, I don't care, you're still a man because you listen to people like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and all those other dumb fucking idiots. When you do that, that's actually harmful to trans people. And if you don't know why, you need to look at the science. Because it shows that when trans people don't or aren't faced with stigma, sorry, I have hiccups. When trans people aren't faced with stigma, they tend to function better. Like everybody else, almost. When I say almost, I mean, like, yes, completely. They function like everybody else. And they can do all the cool shit you do. They just feel that they're not the gender that they were assigned at birth. And on top of that, I mean, there's also biology starting to show that as well. Where basically the brain is closer to the opposite sex than it is the same sex. And biologists agree with this. So when Matt fucking Walsh says, well, those biologists are dumb, he is actively denying science. And I will discuss this shit with any one of you dumb fucks if you don't believe me. Anyway. Let's see if I can get what's next here. This is the definition of woman. Give me 5 seconds. You know, I think I'm fine. I'm just hearing shit. Anyway. So, yeah. Now here's what they say. They say woke liberal feminists, and the idea is to get you to understand that your opposition is fucking retarded. But naturally, these are cherry-picked, and there are retarded people on both sides of the argument. But what it comes down to is the smart people, the objectively the smartest people, are all on the left. Every one of them. It's silly, comparably. And the main reason is because the left chooses to side with academia and the right doesn't. And they say it's biased, it's conspiracy, and that's all they have. That, and then they'll rely on studies when they can cherry pick stats. That's about it. But no, these girls, you need to seriously, like, fucking know shit if you're gonna, if you're gonna call people that. It's dumb as fuck. Anyway. Alright, what the fuck? That was edited as shit. But okay, even if... Okay, so the reason fossil fuel companies should be incentivized is because they're going to fuck up our world. On top of that, now I get most people don't care because, you know, we live in fucking America and everybody knows everything, including how to just deny everything scientists say. But I feel like this was cut. First off, I kind of... Karine Jean-Pierre. Wonder if I can find it. Honestly, most people, they don't give a fuck about this shit. They just wanna... What do you say? Alright, I'm not gonna look for it, but... No, there should be, like... Oh wait, what was the question? It was like... Yeah, they just fucking edited it. I wish I could find that fucking clip. Forbes. You gonna show me the same shit? That's Hunter Biden. Jesus. Anyway. Anyway, I don't know. I'll look for it later. But I don't know what her context was. But anyway, where the fuck is this? Get rid of this shit. Let's go back here. There's one video I want to watch of his. Playing the videos. I want to hear this jackass talk, seriously. Did I hallucinate it? Let's see. This guy seems like a red pillar. I don't want to watch this. Standard red pill shit. I get so bored by that stuff. I was really hoping you had something like he does pranks. I was really hoping. Try this one maybe? It's a game show. I was kind of hoping it would be more of like a podcasty thing, but I don't know. He just kind of seems like a memer. I mean, woke Matt, oh boy. Jesus. Wait, why is she woke? Why is she woke? What the fuck? But not like, how is she woke? I don't get it. How is she woke? my god. So, I mean, this depends on like how particular you are with genders. I mean, I'm gonna assume that this dumbass doesn't even understand what gender really is. So, I mean, the question itself is already poised for like ooh, it's a gotcha. But no, the gender is a social construct. It's also, I guess there's two ways I think you could describe it. There's like the biological version, and there's also the sociological version. And usually, I like the sociological version, but I feel like most people are. They say the same thing because they're not dichotomous in the slightest. But basically, gender refers to. So, jeez, I need to fucking draw something. Is there like a Google Sheets or Docs? There we go. I just need like a something I can draw on, you know, for free. Here we go, I think. Please don't make me download anything. Oh, here we go. Anyway. Undo. Alright. So. I don't know. Just do this. So basically, there's this joyous little thing called a bell curve. And forgive my terrible fucking drawing. Oh, it's so fucking bad. It's so bad. Alright, basically, it's terrible. But basically, when you are trying to quantify anything, whether this is taxonomy, so like a species, if you want to classify all the different kinds of ducks that there are, or all the different kinds of I mean, this is in regards to characteristics, so all the different kinds of ducks, all the different kinds of dogs. Maybe you want a specific species of dogs. Maybe you want to take measurements on a bunch of blades of grass, all right? But you have some sort of question that you're trying to figure out. So with biology, if we look at the biology of humans, we know that we adapt. We adapt to changes. People in colder environments get better adjusted to that temperature. People in hotter environments get adjusted to that temperature. When you look at the biological variation, you have most, normal cis people up in this. So basically, just this entire fucking population is, for the most part, your normal cis women. As things go on, you get to these stranger cases, people who don't have either, people who have some of each, people who it's all these different portrayals, hermaphroditic people and whatnot. And so with that said, every definition you give of something, like humans, it's never going to be 100% the same. So what we do is we use these words like man and woman to generally categorize large populations of people. So we might say, oh, this is look at all the men in New York right now. Maybe you want to look at all the women in New York right now. But there's always a typically. So there's always a typically associated with it. So like if you take the word chair, for example, there's a ton of different chairs. Massive population of chairs. Most of them have a back, 4 legs, a seat area, but that's not all chairs. Typically, there are exemptions, and you're going to run into those in these little standard deviation spots. the spots that are farther away from most chairs. So when you're using the word chair, it's never going to be perfectly accurate, and to some degree it's always going to be circular. This is language. So with biology, it's the same thing. You're never going to get one congruent set of standards to perfectly categorize all men and women in the human species. Or in humans. So, when you're saying there's only men and there's only women, you're dumb. There's changes to that, and to hold on to that view, like, just doesn't make any sense. It's less accurate than saying that gender is socially constructed. It's less accurate in the sense that, like, yeah, your definition of there's men and there's women, it excludes people. It doesn't accurately categorize everybody. The only reason we use words in the first place is because they have utility. If it doesn't have utility, we drop it and we change it. Language changes all the time. So, with that said, when we get to a case where there's a transgender individual, there's someone with gender dysphoria, their brain is not the same as everybody else's brain. As a matter of fact, it makes them wish and desire deeply that they were the opposite gender. Or maybe something in between. And it doesn't make sense to say, oh, a woman is someone with a uterus, or a woman is someone with ovaries, or a woman is someone with a vagina. It doesn't make sense, because not all women have vaginas. And when you look at it that way, like, the binary argument is kind of dumb just to begin with, because it's not actually accurate. But furthermore, it becomes more accurate to just say, like, oh, it's just typically a woman is a biological female, or typically a biological female. Or women typically have boobs, butts, and vaginas. Typically they do. Typically. But not always. And I think that in itself already shows that the binary argument is dumb and not as useful. But furthermore, I mean, we could go even deeper, really. When we categorize men and women anyway, we don't look at their genitals. We look at what they wear, how they look, how they're perceived, how they talk, how they act. We look at all these things. And that's how we actually judge. Like, you're looking at me right now. You haven't checked my gender. You haven't checked my biological anatomy to see what gender I am. You haven't. You've just assumed. So, yeah. And not to mention, when it comes to people with gender dysphoria, helping them fit into that gender is good for them. It helps them live more fulfilled lives and function better in our society, as opposed to having a 30% suicide attempt rate or something along those lines. And kids too. Like, nobody wants that shit. So, yeah, it's so anti-science, and I get it's not normal, but literally you just assume shit without looking into science if you believe this shit, and you're dumb because of it. Now, I didn't believe it either when I was a conservative, and honestly, I never was going to. But my thing is I like to understand shit, and so I really didn't understand the left side, and I'm like, oh, well, I need to understand them first before I can say things. And when you do, it gets better. So, anyway, fun. Yeah, it was a really long tangent. Like, this guy's an idiot, bro. But yeah, like, you're never going... 2 words are not going to categorize all that. Like, it's just dumb, but you're an idiot. And you think you're smarter, which is the obnoxious part. It's like, if only you could make stupid people realize how stupid they are. But anyway. God damn it, I hate her too. Not her. I can't do it anymore. I know this guy's Christian. So, religion. So I grew up, let's see here, very conservative Christian. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I hate it, obviously. There's a lot of good things with it. Sorry, just checking something real quick. Yeah, no, So, I don't know, this video irritates me because they say standing for God is crazy when the world is full of lies. It is full of lies, but you gotta be able to differentiate somehow. And trusting an old ancient book is not the way to do it. Now, here's the thing. I grew up very evangelical Christian. I do not hate Christians. I would still classify myself as one. But what people always do, and remember we talked about this this fucking shitty ass bell curve. You can do the same thing. So you have all these different types of Christians, and in the middle here, it's very likely going to be Catholics because there's a lot of Catholics. It's the biggest denomination of Christianity. But you're gonna have all these different kinds of Christians in there who all, and especially when you get to the Protestants, which is the second biggest group, they are very much. There's always going to be variations within their church and different interpretations on stuff. And if you if I look at my church, there's stuff that deviates from all that employs some heresies, that were established in the various creeds in the early church. But you'll have like mainstream Trinitarian Christianity, and then you'll have the fringe ones like Unitarian. You'll also have Oriental Orthodox like the Coptic and the Ethiopian Church. But yeah, it's a population. You have a massive population of them. And with that said, some are very liberal, some are very conservative. And some have very different theologies. It's vastly drastic. And it's interesting to read about, but yeah, all these differences caused a shit ton of conflict. And I think when you look at it and you approach it more from a scholarly perspective, you start to realize things like, all right, why am I forcing deontology on this book in these areas and not in other areas? Like, why? And most of them, they go to a church, they hear a pastor talk, that's their view of the Bible. And maybe they read it too, but it's through, whatever denominational lens they align themselves with. And that's okay. It's okay. But the problem is when you do, I know people who will not vote for pro-trans legislation because the Bible talks about a woman needing to keep her hair long and a man not being allowed to wear or have their hair like a woman and that kind of stuff. That's why they're anti-trans. And it's like, well, why are you fucking picking this? And, you know, and like the other thing's the 6,000-year-old. Like, there's a lot of Christians who are like, oh, it's metaphorical. I mean, hell, there's people back in, like, before Jesus who thought the book of Genesis was metaphor. I think Philo in Alexandria was one. But yeah, it's like, there's people who think it's metaphor. There's people who think it's literal. There's not really much rhyme or reason to it. It's just like, oh, this seems coherent to me. Like, it feels like I'm saying the Bible's lying if it's not true, you know? But it's like, it's not. You're not saying it's not true. You're just saying, oh, it's metaphorical, it's poetic, it's, you know, shit like that. It's literary. So, but yeah, but what I don't like is when they say, let's watch this again here. Alright, yeah, fuck you. So we just stand for God, and standing for God is crazy in a world full of lies. Motherfucker. So, that's fine. There's a lot of bullshit out there in the world, but when you literally quantify the most well-known things that we can know and say these don't work, and you do things like deny global warming, want to teach 6,000 day creation or a 6,000 year creation in schools, that's not thinking properly. What it comes down to is if you read an ancient book and you say, oh, this is what it means now, and you have no scholarly background whatsoever, it's incredibly arrogant. Because you're saying, oh, my interpretation of the Bible is better. And you could think God did it, but, I mean, realistically, God told a fuck ton of other people all their different shit, and they all feel just as passionately about it as you. Yeah, you gotta... Employing that deontological thinking and applying it to the Bible is not helpful. My big thing with the whole thing is, like, if you, like, it's the God question, I think, is really what's key. Is that, I mean, a lot of people don't like naturalistic, I mean, hell, I find naturalistic explanations a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. Or just, like, unsatisfying, I should say, not uncomfortable. But yeah, like, you have that, and then you have theistic explanations, or, like, you know, cosmic consciousness shit, you know? And that's fine. I don't think you're a fucked up person for going either way. At least, the harm just from that belief alone is technically negligible, but it's when, you know, like, people just add a bunch of other shit in there, and they want to, like that one lady running into the school and tearing off the pride flag, and it's like, oh jeez. But yeah, anyway, fun. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it quits. I've streamed a lot longer than this, but it just was kind of technical difficulties as this mic is trash. But yeah, now if you have any questions or critiques of things that I had, just let me know in the comments below, and I will try to address them as best I can. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful night. I'll see ya. Bye.